Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So I want to cover this really quickly because this is a reality that I feel I must face. I already kind of knew it a long time ago, and well, I didn't really want to face the reality of it. And I couldn't really put it all into words, my feelings about America and what I thought it was and what I want it to be and what it actually is. Okay? And that's going to be many of your issues, is that you have an expectation of your country, your friends, your family, whatever. And then you find out it's completely different than what you thought. And you're finally facing the reality of what actually is. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, I had to face my reality with my relationship with my mother and what it actually was, not what I thought, my fantasy of what I wanted, but I had to face the reality of what it actually was. And so many of you are going to be facing the reality of what America actually is. And at this point, you're watching the in your face of what America actually is. Okay? So, um, so I'm going to read this. It's called Americans in Denial or America in Denial. And then you can look at what's going on globally as well as what's going on in your current microbiome in your community and the amount of stress as far as unemployment and all of the different restrictions on your freedoms in just your movements, as well as some of these establishments that you're used to, like any type of restaurants and bars. So, America in Denial. You believe that you live in the land of the free and the home of the brave, yet you live in the most controlled experimental society on the planet. The tyranny that has been set up here is rather interesting because it is a tyranny without walls. As a country and a collective consciousness, the United States, as a country and a collective consciousness, the United States still has not reached an awareness that something is not right. Now, we know something isn't right, but some of us have actually faced what it is. The environment of the United States is actually much more controlled than that of the former Soviet Union, where the control was obvious. Because everyone is so frightened of giving up the system in the United States, they're going to be forced to give it up. And giving up their fantasy of what the U.S. is. Okay? They're reading the U.S. through their history books of what was told to them through their education system. But when you actually look at, what we're dealing with, we live in a very controlled environment. It's very predictable. Okay? The system is corrupt. It does not work. It does not honor life, and it does not honor earth. That is the bottom line. If something does not honor life and does not honor earth, you can bet it is going to fall, and it's going to fall big time. Right now, we can substantiate with Dr. Fauci and all of your doctors in the holistic allopathic promoting antibodies. Antibodies are promoted and triggered by antibiotics. That is anti-life. In just the name, it's anti-life. That's in your face. That should tell you everything as far as what is the real intentions of your government, who is then propped up by the Rockefeller medical holistic system. And then, of course, all the other evidence that you are experiencing at this point. And so the red in the MAGA hats, communism. I don't see anyone on the left wearing blue. I don't think I've seen anyone on the left wearing blue. Like, they don't show blue anywhere. It's always the red MAGA hats. And, when I was watching the movie last night about Red Joan, was a spy back in the 1940s for the Soviet Union and leaked scientific secrets of an atomic bomb to the Soviets. Red is a very communist color. China, red China, red Russia, red America. Okay, I mean, even Trump being a representation of freedom and sovereignty and the Constitution and the Second Amendment, red, it's in your face. So you got to understand that, yes, the fall of America has happened a long time ago, but it's officially happening before your eyes. And then watching all of these hurricanes way out there following in lineup to go and destroy lots of different lives. And then we hear about direct energy weapons and HARP, which is a type of frequency that can control the weather type of thing. I mean, I know I can go into all the conspiracy stuff, but you got to understand that, yes, America really is no more. And now it's understanding that you are your country. You are your belief system. If you die, your belief system, your country, your religion dies with you. So instead of saying dying for your country, religion, and belief system, dying for Jilly Juice, no, nobody dies for Jilly Juice. No one dies for their country. No one dies for their religion or belief system. If they truly want to keep their country, belief system, religion, they need to live for it. And Jilly Juice is now de-brainwashing you from this whole death culture, dying for a cause. No, we're living for a cause. We need to stop honoring death. We need to stop honoring the death process. That's the as above, so below. We lived in this above type of ignorance where it was really below, but we've painted it as an above and made death look so beautiful and shiny in the 80s. And that's why that video called, Waiting on a Falling Star. It's like a 1980s song. And it's like about a falling star. Yeah, I mean, the 1960s was the whole sexual revolution, and then they did all the different psychedelic experiments in the 60s and 70s and 80s and the 90s and 2000s. They were rolling it out. Okay? And so a lot of us were part of the experiments. The thing with America and what we think our history is. I mean, we only get what was given to us as far as what history is. It's like the fantasy, the Grimm's fairy tale. But the reality is, when you think about it, I kind of knew, even in the beginning of the conspiracy world, when I first started exploring it, I kind of knew that we still belonged to England. I kind of knew we're just another colony to England. But they had this whole song and dance, how America is the land of the free, home of the brave, and we have all these different rights and different amendments and different things that made us so much better than other places. And then, yeah, I mean, I love the idea of America. But when you really look deeper beyond the marketing and the facade, there's a lot of underbelly going on with the building of America, as well as then how America is today. And so now we have to represent our beliefs through our biochemistry. Okay? And that means not to react. That means to stay and live, to deal with your biochemistry and reverse that death process. Some of you will, some of you won't. But I'm telling you, we need to change the way in which we speak about what it is that we believe in, what ideals we hold. We don't die for anything. We live for everything. Okay? We live. Because even with life, even with the imbalances, if you keep just making sure that you live, eventually those imbalances that causes deviancy will fall away. But you have to keep living, not dying and reproducing on a continuous basis, generational and generation. No, where you are the last generation, where you are the last generation in your line, and you don't want to reproduce, and you're not going to die, and you're going to stay alive through all of this bullshit that's going on. Okay, but as soon as you start dying and reproducing, that's when deviancy and that's when anomalies and diversity happens. Okay? And so now it's time we live instead of die. We live for our country. We live for religion. We live for life. We live for our belief system. We don't die for shit. We don't die for nobody. I will not die for anybody. I will live for my husband. I will live for my friends and family. I will live for my country. I will live for my belief system, my religion, my thought process, my Jilly Juice. But I will not die for nobody. I will fight for my belief system, and I will choose my battles wisely. I will fight for Jilly Juice, and I will choose my battles wisely. I will not fight for every single thing out there, because some fights are not even meant to be fought, because it's just circuitous. But when you become more clear on the J Juice, you will pick and choose your battles so wisely that it won't even seem like a fight. It'll just be life. All right. Bye.